Hello there, it's Dusty Thunder with another story from Reddit for you. This one comes from the AITA subreddit and is titled, Am I the Astronaut for telling my grandparents I won't let them bring their daughter's other child to my wedding just because they f***ed up and made promises they couldn't keep? I, 26 male, was raised by my dad after my mother became a deadbeat and walked out on us when I was born. She had zero to do with me from the time she left when I was a week old. No child support, no calls, didn't even check with her parents to see if I was okay. Her parents, my grandparents, were present throughout my life, but they weren't always people I was close to. This had to do with them bringing up my mother, even though they knew it upset/frustrated me. They wanted me to keep an open mind that she'd grow up one day and would hopefully regret leaving me. Even when I told them I didn't want to hear about her, there were occasions that they mentioned her. About 3 years later, she reached back out to them, and they were excited and hoped that I would join them in reuniting with her. But I have as much interest now as I did back as a kid, which is zero, for those wondering. They told me she had a daughter who was 4 years old at the time. I told them it did not change anything for me. They told me she's my mom, and I replied back that she is their daughter, and their daughter was no parent to me. I told them she has not cared for 23 years, and we weren't going to pretend that she suddenly started to care. I had to take a small break from my grandparents because they mentioned that my mother had lost an infant son not too long before reaching out, and that it is what ultimately made her decide to reconnect. After 3 months, my grandparents apologized for pressuring me, and they said they would no longer push, and it looked like they were staying true to their word. However, we'll go ahead and do this now. They revealed that they had not been entirely truthful to their word, and they were telling their granddaughter about me and promised her a relationship with me and made her believe she could come to my wedding. That's a lot to promise somebody when you don't have the ability to make those promises. It's like promising somebody tickets to a Chiefs game when you don't have tickets, right? They don't have the ability to fulfill that promise. They told me this after I sent them an invite to my wedding, and they realized they, as a couple, didn't get a +1. Wait, they assumed they were going to get a +1 to your wedding as a couple? Is that a thing? I don't go to a lot of weddings, but it doesn't seem like couples would get a +1. I told them I didn't want the girl attending my wedding. I said I would actually meet her and figure out contact through them if I was actually interested, but I'm not. They argued that she's still a sibling, and I could have a relationship with her through them and no reason to have contact with my mother. I told them I don't want contact with this child. I told them that she might be biologically my sibling, but in terms of being my family, she's not, and I have zero desire to change that. They again said that she's my sibling, and I have no others, and I would be helping to break her heart. I very clearly said I'm not letting them bring their daughter's other child to my wedding just because they f***ed up and made promises they had no right to make. I told them that they would have to fix it, but she was not coming just to spare her feelings because it would be a lot if she comes to face with me and can see how disinterested I am in her. They told me to think of the child and how my words were so distancing instead of kind and inclusive. Am I the astronaut? Nope. Nope. And it seems like they're awfully persistent about trying to trample on this boundary that you've created, which, by the way, I don't know how old you were, OP, when you decided to make this boundary, but you talk about it like it happened when you were like a kid. Like as early as you were able to communicate with them and they were talking about your mom, you said no. You made that abundantly clear from step one that you said no. And you're 100% right. They made promises they didn't have the right to make. And now don't have the ability to fulfill those promises to their deadbeat daughter, at least who was a deadbeat to you. How is that on you? That sounds like 100% a them problem. You've been very clear about your boundaries. Also, these people are supposed to be like loving family members of yours, right? And they're risking that bridge. They're risking that relationship to try to advocate for somebody who very clearly did not give a shit and is probably using them again right now. I understand them wanting everybody to be a big happy family, but pretending like your trauma does not exist is not the way to do that. Nobody's going to be happy. They're going to lose a connection with you over this because they will not listen. They will not respect your boundaries. They will not respect your trauma. What is their goal here? Riddle me that. What are they trying to accomplish? I mean, it seems like they've got the utopian big happy family. Like, hey, everybody's going to be happy again because they all regret the shitty shit that they've done. No damage was done in the process of that shitty shit, surely, right? How are they so forgiving? How are they so quick to forgive? How are they so quick to forget? How are they so quick to pressure you to forgive and forget. Things that you will never not have a scar of. Things that you will never not feel. How are they so quick to tell you to ignore it, to rub some dirt on it and walk it off? OP, your boundary is crystal clear. I would say in this moment, the fact that they aren't respecting it or pretending not to understand it, whatever the hell it is, means that you've got to reinforce the pain that comes with crossing that boundary. The fact that they are trampling this actively means that you've got to double down on the amount of pain you're willing to inflict to protect that boundary. Invitations rescinded. You are no longer welcome at my wedding, period, because you do not respect my boundaries, and I do not trust that you will not ruin what is supposed to be one of the most special days of my life by bringing somebody that you know you shouldn't bring, because you've been bringing her up, even though you shouldn't have my entire life. So, a table just opened up for two.
Table for two? Assholes?
I do get how, as a parent, if you saw your child screw up with their child, you would hope for the best, and you would hope that they would turn that around. You would hope that they would undo their mistake. But just showing back up isn't undoing anything. It is not. If anything, it's just reintroducing pain. As a parent, I hope that if we were in a similar position, that we would be advocating to our child who did the screwing up, that they actively put in the work to fix what they did, not just paving a path for them to skate back in and do damage again.